Prestigious, yes, and also apparently issued with a black hat, a permanent scowl, and a bullwhip he may or may not know how to use safely indoors.
Standing over 6 feet tall, Irwin presented himself as a rangy, rule-breaking cowboy with a mean streak a mile wide. He often made his way to the ring dressed like the final outlaw you fight before the saloon closes for good.
Or like a man who lost a bet at a Western wear store and decided to live with it forever.
In the storyline landscape of WCCW, Irwin aligned himself with the villainous H&H Limited Stable, managed by Armin Hussein and Gary Hart. He stood alongside other notorious names like King Kong Bundy and the Great Kabuki, forming a coalition dedicated to making life miserable for the Von Erich family. This group of antagonists was locked in a broader war against the Von Erichs and the promotion's fan favorites, and Irwin was right in the thick of it.
And later, he joined a giant body slam battle royal featuring Andre the Giant, which sounds less like a match and more like a citywide insurance claim.
As a heel champion, Irwin was brash, confident, and perfectly willing to bend or outright ignore the rules. In the weeks leading up to the event, he had flirted with respectability at times, but by the night of the show, he had fully recommitted to villainy.
The flirting phrase ended. He ghosted sportsmanship and went steady with cheating.
On television, Irwin frequently begged off when cornered, retreating into the ropes, only to sneak in cheap shots the moment the referee turned away. It was a strategy built on patience, timing, and a deep belief that referees have the attention span of a house cat.
You distract the ref, you strike the opponent, look innocent. It's like a children's cartoon, but angrier.
Irwin was the young, arrogant champion determined to prove he belonged at the top of Texas wrestling. He wanted to defeat challengers decisively and impress his H&H Limited allies. Earlier in 1982, Irwin had feuded with Captain Frank Dusek, a rivalry that saw two heels clash and temporarily muddle the moral alignment of the situation.
The rare event where fans had to decide who they disliked slightly less.
That conflict left Irwin drifting between anti-hero and outright antagonist. Against Ken Mantell, however, there was no ambiguity. The full cowboy heel persona was on display, complete with crowd antagonizing and every trick he could muster.
If there was a page in the rulebook labeled "Don't," Irwin had it bookmarked.
His motivation was straightforward: retain the Texas Championship, reinforce H&H Limited's dominance, and spoil the celebration honoring Fritz Von Erich, a man the group openly despised.
So in other words, ruin a nice evening for everyone and call it business.
A victory over a respected veteran like Mantell on such a high-profile card would legitimize Irwin's reign and give the villains a decisive advantage in their ongoing feud with the Von Erichs. Ken Mantell entered this match as one of the most seasoned veterans on the Texas wrestling circuit and a man the fans could count on. A former NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion in the 1970s, Mantell had built his reputation on hard work, discipline, and results.
So in other words, no glitter, no smoke, and absolutely no bullwhip budget.
Mantell's style was straightforward and effective. He blended solid scientific mat wrestling with just enough Texas brawling to remind you where he came from. By 1982, Mantell was in his early 30s and already a veteran of countless territories. He'd held tag titles, traveled extensively, and faced legendary competitors like Danny Hodge and Hiro Matsuda during his junior heavyweight days.
So basically, he wrestled everyone except the guy selling popcorn, and that was probably scheduled for next week.
In world class, Mantell wasn't flashy. He wore simple trunks, avoided theatrics, and let his toughness and technical skills speak for him. He was often portrayed as a rugged Texas cowboy, the good guy variety. This grounded blue-collar persona made him an ideal counterbalance to the loud, over-the-top villains of WCCW. Fans viewed Mantell as a dependable Texas wrestling warhorse, a man who could push any opponent to the limit.
A warhorse, Bill. No frills, no nonsense, and probably no days off.
Behind the scenes, Mantell was already showing signs of becoming a sharp wrestling mind. In the years that followed, he would serve as a booker for WCCW during its mid-1980s peak.
Which means while other guys were planning their entrances, Ken was quietly planning the whole show. He fought people, booked people, and hired people. So at this rate, he was one clipboard away from running the place.
On June 4th, 1982, however, all of that took a back seat. Mantell's immediate focus was Wild Bill Irwin.
One cowboy, one title, and zero interest in nonsense.
In storyline terms, Mantell was the natural challenger for Irwin's Texas Heavyweight Championship. There was no deeply personal grudge, just a proud Texas veteran looking to shut down a brash newcomer.
The classic, "Welcome to Texas, now sit down" scenario.
Mantell was loosely aligned with other babyfaces in world class and frequently came to their aid when H&H Limited caused trouble. Just 1 week earlier, he rushed in to stop a rampage by the great Kabuki,
which ended with him getting misted and kicked, proving once again that good deeds are rarely rewarded.
That moment reinforced Mantell's role as a locker room leader, a reliable presence fans could believe in.
It's a guy you want backing you up, even if it means getting sprayed in the face for your trouble.
At the Fritz Von Erich retirement show, Mantell's motivation was clear: personal pride, loyalty to the locker room, and payback against the villains. By defeating Irwin and capturing the Texas title, Mantell would deal a blow to H&H Limited and help ensure that the night-honoring Fritz Von Erich ended with a victory for the good guys.
World Class Championship Wrestling presents the following special. From Texas Stadium.
Dun 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 dun! Star Wars meets wrestling. I love it already. Are we sure Luke Skywalker isn't booked for the Battle Royal?
That fanfare signals a big night, Joe. Welcome to Texas Stadium. This is World Class Championship Wrestling at its finest.
Finest as in finest mono audio and VHS resolution, because I'm getting some real tracking line chic here. Hey, don't adjust your set, folks. That blur is authentic 1982 quality.
Now, Mickey Grant's production was state-of-the-art for its time. You can almost feel the excitement through the screen, and the tape hiss.
True, I feel something. Possibly the Dallas humidity seeping into the tape, or my heart racing at these awesome 8-bit graphics. Look, the text is literally sparkling. They spared no expense on the glitter filter, huh?
In Irving, Texas, Star Wars Super Bowl of Wrestling.
Historic night. Fritz is a Texas legend, and this event is a turning point for WCCW.
Oh, I'm well aware the curtain's coming down on old Fritz. Big farewell, emotion, etc. I just hope the curtain doesn't literally come down with this production. You never know. Wow, check out Texas Stadium. It's like a wrestling match in a football field. You could fit a whole other show in those empty sections.
We've got about 6,800 fans here in attendance. Thank you very much.
In a stadium built for 65,000. Hey, at least everyone got a front row seat. Somewhere. I could almost hear each individual fan, "Go Fritz! Where's the nachos?"
Super Bowl of Wrestling.
And here we are at ringside. Look, that's me and my broadcast partner on camera now.
Snazzy tuxedos, Bill. You two are dressed to the nines. Very Bond-esque. Welcome to wrestling, Miss Moneypenny.
It was a special occasion, so tuxes were the dress code. Gotta bring some class to world class, right?
Your partner there, he's got the 1,000-yard stare. That's Jay Salty, right? Former cowboy, now he's, what? Tackling commentary?
Correct. That's Jay Salty, a former Dallas Cowboy tight end, lending some sports credibility to the broadcast.
Yeah, he looks about as comfortable as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. I bet he's thinking, I survived the NFL. But can I survive live TV?
Give him a break, Joe. It's his first big wrestling show behind the mic. We were all rookies once.
Fair enough.
Welcome to World Class Championship Wrestling. Tonight, the first in a two-part series, a wrestling Star Wars Super Bowl here at Texas Stadium. And Jay Salty, this promises to be an extravaganza of excitement.
That's right, Bill. We have the greatest wrestlers from the world on tonight's card. Looking forward to a great card.
Oh, welcome everyone. Don't worry, Jay. Nobody at home noticed that stumble. Jay's tone is smoother than a Texas drawl on Sunday morning. Boy, he's so calm, I half expect him to start whispering golf commentary. There's Fritz Von Erich approaching the ring. What a maneuver. Shh, you can do it, Jay. Sound out those words cheerfully. Wow, he's stumbling over every other word like it's a tackling dummy. But you gotta love the earnest effort, though. Oh, no doubt. I mean, the poor guy's as nervous as a rookie in a playoff game. Man, I haven't heard a voice quiver like that since my high school prom. But hey, it's kind of endearing. Jay's very excited about that. Trust me. He's just expressing it with the raw, unbridled excitement of a guy reading the phone book. Jay Salty is a Tom Landry of wrestling commentary. Cool under pressure, never raises his voice, and his face has exactly one expression. Dramatically monotonic.
Jay was actually part of a Super Bowl team, you know.
Oh, I know. Super Bowl 12 champ. He's got the ring to prove it. Now he just needs a championship belt and talking clearly into the mic. Nothing like the great outdoors. Where else can you get body slams on turf and a nice evening breeze to go with your pile drivers? I just hope nobody tries a field goal with a wrestler tonight.
I think we're safe there, Joe. All right, here comes Wild Bill Irwin, the Texas heavyweight champion. You can hear the boos. He's not exactly a fan favorite.
Yeah, nothing says I'm a people person like bringing a whip to a retirement party. Real classy, Wild Bill. Maybe he's expecting to wrangle a steer instead of wrestle tonight.
Irwin better leave that bullwhip outside. Referee David Manning is warning him. And now the cheers are picking up. Here comes Ken Mantell.
Absolutely. Ken's so all business he probably brought his briefcase to the ring. Inside one contract for an old-fashioned butt kicking.
There's the bell. This one is underway. 15-minute time limit. These two wrestled to a draw on TV recently, so both want a decisive win here. They lock up, center of the ring. Mantell with the go-behind. Waistlock takedown. Nice amateur move by Ken Mantell, putting his grappling skills on display early.
Yeah, Ken's showing off those high school wrestling chops. I haven't seen a takedown that clean since I tried to wrestle a sofa into my apartment.
Irwin scrambles to the ropes and grabs hold. Referee calls for a break, and Mantell backs off clean. Listen to the crowd applaud Mantell's sportsmanship.
Yeah, Wild Bill looks like he's already contemplating a timeout. Sorry, Bill. No timeouts in wrestling. This isn't the NFL. In wrestling, you just look out of ideas. Can't blame him. I need a breather, too, if a man named Ken just threw me like a frisbee. Wild Bill's taking a stroll on the 50-yard line, maybe checking if the turf's softer than the ring.
The referee is counting. Irwin stalling on the floor, jawing with some fans in the front row. Mantell is staying back, poised and ready. He doesn't want to give Irwin any opening for cheap shots.
Yep, Ken's in the ring thinking, take your time, Bill. I could use the rest. I've only been tossing you around for a minute and I'm exhausted.
Back to action now. Collar and elbow tie-up. Irwin whips Mantell to the ropes. Kitchen sink. A hard knee right to Mantell's midsection on the rebound. Ken flips over that knee and hits the canvas, clutching his stomach.
Oh, I felt that from here. Ken Mantell just got introduced to Wild Bill's knee. Meet Mr. Patella, Ken. He'll be residing in your ribcage briefly.
He reaches up and rakes Mantell's eyes.
Dirty, but effective. Wild Bill fights like a coyote caught in a trap. He'll claw your eyes out to save his hide. I guess when you're about to lose, going Three Stooges on the guy is one way out.
A tilt-a-whirl backbreaker by Wild Bill Irwin. What a maneuver. Irwin with a cover. First pin attempt of the match. 1, 2. Mantell kicks out at 2.
Close call. Mantell kicked out, but I bet he saw his life flash before his eyes during that backbreaker. Probably reminisced about simpler times. You know, applying headlocks and not being turned into a human pretzel.
Mantell now stepping through, looks like a spinning toe hold. Yes, sir. Ken Mantell with a spinning toe hold on Wild Bill Irwin.
Ken's got him in the Texas Twister, and Wild Bill is howling. I haven't seen a man spin this much since my last square dance. If Irwin gets any dizzier, he'll be pitting himself.
Irwin sidesteps and shoves Mantell forward, head first into the turnbuckle.
Ken just used his head in the worst way possible. That turnbuckle isn't as cushioned as you'd hope. It's like running straight to a doorknob. I wouldn't be surprised if Mantell is seeing cartoon birdies right now.
Irwin seizes the moment. Handful of trunks. 1, 2, 3. He got him. Wild Bill Irwin steals the win.
I blinked and missed it. Ironically, so did Mantell after that eye rake and turnbuckle combo. Wild Bill literally used Ken's head against him and then pounced like a true scoundrel.
The official time is around 13.5 minutes. Wild Bill Irwin gets the pinfall on Ken Mantell here at Fritz Von Erich's retirement show, albeit under questionable circumstances.
Yeah, Ken Mantell is probably thinking, did that really just happen? One moment he's spinning Bill like a Texas tornado, and next moment the back of his head is kissing the turnbuckle goodnight.
A tough break for Mantell. He had the match going his way until the very end. Credit to Irwin's resilience, he found a way to win, as he often does, by hook or by crook.
Bent the rules? Oh, he bent them, broke them, and used them to poke Mantell in the eyes for good measure. Wild Bill fights dirty, but a win's a win in his book. Yeah, one little head to turnbuckle mistake. Happens to the best of us, right? He'll feel that one tomorrow. Actually, he probably feels it now.
Important to note, both Irwin and Mantell aren't done yet tonight. They'll be back out later in that big body slam battle royal with Andre the Giant. You can bet Mantell will be looking for a measure of payback on Irwin in that melee.
If I were Bill, I'd keep an eye out in that battle royal. Mantell might come out flying at him with another dropkick out of nowhere. Or maybe he'll just pick up a spare folding chair and return the favor for that turnbuckle treatment. Honestly, it felt a bit like a slow burn. I mean, the match started off so methodical, it almost dragged on forever, at times about as thrilling as watching paint dry. Although nothing was technically wrong with it. I mean, they eventually kicked it off into gear, especially when Irwin went on the attack, but by the end, the previously quiet crowd was actively invested in making noise. So hey, credit to them for turning the audience around.
Absolutely. Mantell's strategy of targeting the leg showed some nice psychology, and Irwin did a great job riling up the fans once he went into his wild man offense. It was a classic brawler versus technical wrestler matchup, a clash of styles that gave us a little bit of everything if you were paying attention.
Key phrase if you were paying attention, and some fans took a while to realize, oh, something's happening in the ring that isn't a Von Erich. Let's face it, Bill, on a night dedicated to Fritz Von Erich, and with all the Von Erich boys in big matches later, poor Ken Mantell and Wild Bill are basically the appetizer before the Texas-sized entree.
Haha, that's true. This match was placed to warm up the crowd for bigger things, and as the first match on the card, it did its job without overshadowing anyone. The fans got a little appetizer of solid wrestling before the real craziness with giants, cage matches, and Von Erich triumphs later on.
In terms of storyline dynamics in WCCW, this bout was mostly about keeping Wild Bill Irwin looking strong as a Texas heavyweight champion. I mean, Ken Mantell was one of several mid-card good guys lining up to take a crack at Irwin. I mean, Irwin's been reigning as Texas champion, fending off challengers like Mantell, El Madril, even the eccentric Bugsy McGraw. You know, the fan favorites who weren't named Von Erich.
Right. Beating Mantell here was another notch in Irwin's belt, figuratively speaking, since his actual title belt wasn't at stake tonight. It shows Irwin can beat a savvy veteran cleanish in a high-profile setting, which boosts his credibility. He's building a rep as a tough mid-card heel champ, holding that Texas title and knocking off popular challengers one by one. All in all, this Mantell versus Irwin match was a decent mid-card outing. It had a little technical wrestling, a little brawling, some slow parts, some excitement at the end. The fans gave a respectful round of applause for the effort. It wasn't the match of the night, but it set the table nicely.
So in other words, a 2-star special in the books. Not a classic, not a stinker, just an honest, workman-like match dressed up with a bit of Texas flavor and a few chuckles. And our job, of course, is to add the chuckles.